What up guys, how you doing? It is Lasty here. Welcome back to a new episode of The Road to Glory, episode number 22. Now we're going to get cracking on with 3 games of FIFA today, going in and showing you highlights from all 3 of those games with our 2 different squads. Now this is one that we built a couple of episodes ago. This is our slightly more expensive squad featuring the likes of Pastore, Dybala, Pereira, Candreva, all sorts of good stuff going into this team right here. We're going to use this because the guys that are on the bench are all a little bit tired from a lovely 6-4 defeat at the end of the last episode. We go into our first game and we come up against this guy. Now, all 3 of today's games are going to be very, very different from each other. They all were just completely different stories at the end of the day. Very strong looking BPL squad. He's got the likes of Balassi, William, Payet, some solid players that are good on FIFA. But we start off quite well by putting a shot in on goal, but a good save from his goalie. I then try out a very long free kick from 39 yards with Candreva, forcing, well, I don't think it even did force a save in the end, did it? But it was very, very close to going in. And as you can see, I'm the one doing all the pushing in this game, hitting the inside of the post, back off the goalkeeper, and it still doesn't manage to go in. And at half-time, we are 0-0. I was struggling against this guy in terms of possession. He was actually a very good sort of skiller on the ball. And then just look at this. That's Chris Smalling, and on your screens right now, you're going to see the shooting stats and the long shot stats for Chris Smalling on his in-game stats. 11 long shots. Yep, I just don't know what to say. I was speechless when it happened. I was furious when that goal went in, I'm not going to lie. Actually, I think I was kind of laughing about it, just knowing how bad his actual stats were of him actually scoring a long shot. It really threw me off, and eventually we went down 2-0, and this guy just didn't look like he was going to let off, and I thought it was going to be a lot worse than the scoreline that it ended up being. We get an opportunity there, deflected, then saved. Just didn't really look likely for us to do anything. And, you know, we pick it up here after he's being a little bit cocky. Take that little bit of a dink shot, still wide of the post. So just wasn't going to go in, and we lost 2-0. So not the end of the world, but after our chances in the first half where he didn't have any, I was a little bit gutted that we maybe didn't come into half-time with a 1-goal lead or something, as that would change the dynamic of the game. But we switch over to our slightly cheaper squad featuring the likes of Pepe and of course in-form Slamini. Still haven't remembered which way round the A and the I go. And we come up against very, very strong BPL squad this time. Very good. Another BPL squad. Yeah, that's what happens on this game, really. You come up against a lot of BPL. He's got Company, Otamendi. Well, you saw it on screen, and there's some very, very talented players in there. He goes 1-0 up very early on. 3 minutes it took my opponent this time to score a goal, which at this point I was starting to get a wee bit stressed. But we push through with Slimani, and he scores a belter. That right there was the start of me thinking this guy's going to be good, because I was holding LT like to hold the strength of the player off from the defender, and he did such a good job at it. And of course his shooting is very, very good as well. I thought we were going to go into the lead with Ben Yedder right there, but it didn't quite happen. William Carvalho then hits one wide of the post. Again, a long shot I thought that was going to go in. And then we push through here with Ben Yedder, who sees a little option there to play it off to Slimani, who manages to get just enough on it to stick it into the back of the net after a deflection, trying to be a bit of a save from the keeper there, but it didn't quite work out. And we go in to the halftime break with a 2-0 lead, 2-1 lead, should I say. We turn the game around from 1-0 to 2-1. But as you can see, very boring half, only 2 attempts on goal from both squads. Second half came around and it was just as difficult as the first half. This was a very even match. The game we played last, I said all these games are going to be slightly different. I would say we were outmatched in the last game. He was a very, very good player. But this was even, and he intended to make sure it got even, because he runs through here with Diego Costa, not David Costa. What am I on about? And then, of course, just does the dirty, plays the sweaty across to Sturridge, who sticks it in the back of the net to equalise in this game. I thought he was going to do something similar there again, but a very strong hand from Claudio Bravo keeps that one at 2-2 and allows me to push forward with the amazing Slimani, who just does it again. He's so good. I tweeted out the other day, like, if you've got a spare 14k, just trust me. And then some little like emoji eyes. Like, you have to trust me that this guy is a solid player. He may not have skill moves, but he's very, very, very good. And then this guy goes ahead and in the 88th minute scores a header from a corner to equalise. But is Slimani happy about that? He's not. He's just literally going to walk up the other end and score another banger. And if it isn't drilled into your head that you need to buy and try this player, yet, like, it should be. You know, there's something wrong with it, I think. He's a very, very talented player for a very cheap amount of coins. He's like a cheap, in-form version of an Ibrahimovic on this game. So 4 goals for Slimani. Very, very good performance. 3 assists from Ben Yedder. Going to take that one very nicely as well. And that's going to be the second game over and done with. So we came away with a 2-0 defeat. We then beat this guy 4-3. We've got a decentish record now with Slimani. And of course, we need a third game to go on into. These guys, they're a little bit tired. Time to switch them over to our other guys, the 4-4-1-1 squad. Dybala, Pereira, Pastore, lots of good Argentines in this team right here. And of course we go into a game and we come up against, we actually get relatively lucky. We come up against someone which I haven't come up against in ages, like a starter team almost. He's slightly further forward than a starter team, but a very low chem team at that. 52 chemistry, we should walk this one right now. You've seen the title of this video, right? It's something to do with 30 shots on goal or whatever I'm going to call it. I'm not 100% sure yet. But this game, because he had such low chemistry and I could tell right from the start that it was relatively easy, I decided to go for some long shots with Pastore, which led to a whole host of corners. I literally might have broken the record for the amount of corners received within one game of FIFA. Honestly, we had so many, and every time I was just playing it out to the edge of the box, attempting to get one of those volleys to go in from like Pastore or whoever it was. But eventually we pushed through with Dybala, and we do slot that one home. A very, very nice finesse finish into the back of the net, and we go 1-0 up, right? Should be nice and easy coasting from here. We'll just make it 2, 3, 4, 5-0. Who even knows? We got loads of time to score loads of goals, but it just didn't seem to go in. I was trying to get some nice clips, you know, and it just wasn't working, obviously. The more and more volleys, these all looked like literally carbon copies of each other, because I was just literally trying it again and again and again. I wanted a nice long shot and I wanted a nice volley, and it just wasn't quite happening. Towards, you know, as we had a few more, you can see that we were actually getting slightly better at hitting them, and them not going completely over the bar and stuff like that. But they still weren't quite going in. There's always just one too many defenders, or the goalkeeper manages to get it, something like that. But at the halftime break, we'd had 20 shots on goal, and that's kind of madness. We try right there to get like a Rabona goal, but again, it gets blocked. And as you can see, in this second half, I was doing a little bit more dribbling. I was trying the no-touch and all of that, trying to weave my way in and out of defenders. I was using it as almost like a test game to try and see how can I perform against other people when they're lined up and defending like they are. So, you know, it was quite a good game. But the only thing that didn't really have was loads and loads of goals. We tried so many different methods to try and score, and eventually we win 1-0 after having 30 shots on goal, which is kind of unheard of, I think. That's just, I tweeted out, I was like, yeah guys, I'm extremely clinical in front of goal, and then tweeted that picture, and then I got a whole bunch of abuse. But yeah, we won the game 1-0. As I said, all 3 very different games. The first one really tough. We were sort of outgunned. Second game was a very even, but we came out on top. And then this third game, of course, was so easy for us that we just tried to get some amazing clips and ended up getting 1 goal from 30 shots on goal. That's going to be the end of this episode. We've got a couple more episodes left in this series. If you guys have enjoyed, smash that thumbs up button. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you are new, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.